Obedience to the Lord bears fruit. So, Wednesday night, we had Bible study. Now, I want to give you the backstory because this is important. I started giving my life to the Lord for real back in 2022. And so the Lord was just encountering me in mighty ways. Spiritual things were happening in the physical. It was just a lot going on. I was just elevating like really quickly. At that time, the Lord had me to reach out to certain people. I did not know why, but I just did it. So the Lord would tell me like, okay, today reach out to this person. Okay. Then tomorrow will come, okay, tomorrow reach out to that person. So what happened this time was that I had a dream about two of my cousins. So the dream was we were in this house and it kind of was like a house party going on, and there was a guy sitting on a couch. Now, I'm assuming that the guy knew one of my cousins, but he was asleep during the whole party. So everybody around him just kind of moving around. I'm just looking around, like seeing what's going on. And I see my two cousins, and I had a bad feeling in a dream. So I'm like, okay, we need to leave. We need to leave this party. It's time to go. And the kids were like in the back of the party. So, me being motherly, I grab all the kids in the dream and I'm like, okay, kids, let's go, let's go. I'm like, come on, grab y'all kids. The kids need to go. So at this point, I put the kids in my car and I'm like, okay, come on to my cousins because I had her daughter as well. So I was like, come on, everybody get in my car. We about to go. So it's like they was about to come, but then they would just. I look behind me and they not behind me no more. Like they just kept walking away. My two cousins that I dreamed about. So I would call them, come on y'all, come on, come on, and they both would just walk away. After they walked away, like I said, I put my kids in the car. I put all the kids in the car, including one of my cousins, and I woke up. So the Lord had me to reach out to both of them. Told me to call both of them and tell them your dream. So I said, oh, okay. Because at that point, I had not talked to either one of them in years. I said, okay. So I reached out to one because I had her number first, the oldest one. So I reached out to her first and I called her and I told her the dream. So she actually kind of like, oh, it kind of like took her aback because, I didn't know what was going on in her life at the time or anything. So it's like, you know, I couldn't have guessed anything or anything like that. I just was being obedient and was doing what the Lord told me to do. So when she heard the dream, she was like, oh, dang, that's kind of crazy. So I was like, well, can you give me the other cousin number because I don't have her number? And she was like, yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll just reach out to her to let her know that I'm gonna give it to you. And I was like, okay, cool. So she gave me her number and told her that I was gonna call. So I called the younger cousin and I also told her about the dream. She heard the dream and was like, oh wow, that's crazy. But it wasn't really, it didn't really register, I don't think. And on the phone call, she kind of was apprehensive to even like talk to me or like come back to the family and stuff like that. So she made a comment, but it went over my head because I was on a mission to tell her the dream that the Lord told me to tell her. And I didn't let it bother me. So, long story short, I was just trying to put her at ease. So, I was telling her like all the stuff that had happened in my life. And we ended up talking and laughing for a while. And so, the call ended, and that was that. I remember though in a conversation, she just was at a different place, trying to figure stuff out on her own. And so that's just where they were at. So I told them the dream, didn't think nothing of it. Now, here's the seeds that was planted that I did not know about, but God knew about the whole time. So fast forward to Wednesday's Bible study. So that week, which was this week that's about to pass, I had been going through it. Now, I wasn't in a place where I was just like, okay, Lord, like I wasn't like shaking. I just was starting to get like a little worried about my circumstances, situations, and I was just like, okay, God, you don't give us the spirit of worry. You don't want us to worry. We supposed to lay our burdens to you. So I'm trying to do that whole thing. So Wednesday comes and the younger cousin, she recently has been seeking the Lord, reading the word for herself, and I'm really starting to hear a change in her voice, how she moves, how she acts. I mean, everything is just becoming totally different. Earlier in that day on Wednesday, my younger cousin, who I told the dream to, she sent me a message and she was just like, I admire you. I admire how you walk with the Lord for real. Like, you are really trying to walk this walk and you are highly favored. So she's just like encouraging me, and she could not have known that I was going through all this stuff. So I was like tearing up because I'm like, wow, like, Lord, you are always on time. Like, you always on time. Then later on in Bible study, the older cousin came into Bible study, and she just began to do the same thing. She really like spoke into my life. She really was encouraging me, and she basically told me the same thing that the younger cousin had told me, that, I admire you. I'm so happy the Lord put you in my life. Like, you are a beautiful example of walking with the Lord and things like that. And I'm just like, you don't think that you are an example or leader or anything, but people are watching you in your everyday life. People are paying attention to how you speak to people, how you act, how you live your life, how you treat your kids. People are paying attention to all these things. When you say you are a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, people are going to watch what you do. And they will know that you are really walking with Him, and the fruit is in your life. The fruit is in your everyday, your day to day, your perseverance in the word, your perseverance in the walk. And so, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just thinking like, I'd have made all these mistakes in my life. I wasn't always the best or always even in the best place. Always like I used to, people say you give like good advice and stuff like that, but, I didn't think it was that great. I'm just thinking like, it is worldly advice at the time, whatever. Not knowing that at the time the word that I would give them was something they needed or whatever. So she ended up bringing something to my attention, like, remember the dream that you told me? And I was like, oh, and it clicked. Oh my goodness. Both of my cousins, the older one and the younger one, are now seeking God fully. They're trying to walk with Him. They're really trying to give their life to Him. And they remember the seed that was planted over a year ago. That phone call, that dream that I told them was out of obedience, and that obedience bore this beautiful fruit. Two women who are now in a place in their life where they are seeking God for themselves, and they are really trying to walk with Him. And you can hear the difference and you can see the difference. And they both just poured into me, and they both just encouraged me, and it really, it just softened my heart and just warmed me up, because I'm like, Lord, you always on time, and you never know, like, God will send people to other people, but look, those same people that He sent you to are now He's sending them back to you to pour into you. The Lord told you to pour into them, and now those same people are pouring into you. And so that was just so beautiful, and I'm just grateful, and I just love them so much, and I'm so happy for them. Being obedient is the key. Obedience bears fruit. When the Lord tell you to do something, go and do it. So I love y'all so much. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for the situation, and to God be the glory.